This is my opinion, this is not my game, and this is not my footage. All people who are in my footage have a link in the description. Five Nights at Candy's 2, the sequel to Five Nights at Candy's 1, if that wasn't painfully obvious. But what is really obvious is that this game is pretty good. Firstly, gameplay. This game thankfully isn't as similar to FNAF 2 as Five Nights at Candy's 1 was to FNAF 1, with a lot new mechanics that I think are really good. One thing that I think is really interesting is instead of just an unreliable flashlight that can run out of batteries, you now have a phone flash that you can use to search down the hallway in front of you, and it can't run out of batteries for 6 hours somehow. Lucky, my phone dies in like 2 milliseconds. Thank God I have a computer, but I'm getting really off track. Anyway, withered candy will slowly come closer to you from the hallway from far away to closer to right at your desk. And you'll need to put off a phone in the other rooms in the building to distract them. But you also need to not put off a phone while an animatronic is in that camera, or else they'll destroy the phone for a while. Thanks, animatronics, you're so nice. Withered Cindy and Withered Blink works the same way, pretty much. But Withered Chester works a bit differently, though. You'll try to get into the vent, but when he's in a camera that has a vent and he's banging on it, you'll have to find that camera and stop him. Guess what if you don't? That's right, you live. Withered Penguin also works a bit differently. Occasionally, he'll show up on a camera, and if you don't go to another camera in time, he'll cause the cameras to go off for a bit. Think Phantom Balloon Boy, but somehow even more annoying. We also have the return of the rat and a newcomer, the cat. Basically, they're like withered candy, but more aggressive. And the rat also takes the role of withered penguin, and the cat also takes the role of withered Chester. But if I'm gonna be honest, the rat and cat are much easier than I thought they would be, probably since it's just less animatronics to deal with, which I also think applies to the nightmare mode that you can try to do after you beat 720 mode. It's still interesting having the rat and cat in this game, though. Overall, I like the gameplay of this game much more than the first game. While in a way it's pretty similar to FNAF 2, I really like it and think it's a pretty unique game, so I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Secondly, the story. This game, just like FNAF 2, is really the start of the series having a hidden lore. And it's kind of difficult to say the lore of this game without just saying it's a few decades after the first and third game and shows the burning of all the characters. At least with just this game. The third game clarifies some things, but whatever. But all I'm gonna say is that there's one lore moment that I want to talk about. If you beat the 720 mode, you'll get a secret cutscene teasing the third game. Basically, you're a little girl from the past where the rat and cat are the only animatronics there. And you see, supposedly, your little brother go up to the rat and, he kinda gets slapped in the face. So that's cool, 9 out of 10. Thirdly, the glitch. If you know anything about this game, you're probably aware of a really bad glitch in the game that lets you skip pretty much the entire game. Occasionally, if you get jump scared, a glitch will happen where you'll be in the office, but you can't interact with anything, and nothing can interact with you. There isn't too much to talk about this, but it's still a big issue in the game, so I guess I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10 because it's stupid badness. Fourthly, the between night mini-games. Just like the first game, there's mini-games in between nights, which all take place in the Five Nights at Candy's 1 location. Most of them have you needing to do some sort of task or following a shadow candy with some small lore bits sprinkled in. But my favorite and the most interesting minigame is one where you're playing as Candy during 1993. A security guard got killed and the police think it was Candy who did it, and they kind of tased me. Yeah, so that's cool. There isn't too much to these minigames besides having lore purposes. But there's still one of my favorite parts of this game, since I'm not getting jump scared constantly because I suck. I think they're pretty cool though, so I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Overall, this game in my opinion is a lot better than the first game. The first game felt a lot more like a parody, while this game feels a lot more like just a nice fun game. So I'd give it a good 9 out of 10.